Hello and welcome back to the course on Tableau. And in today's tutorial, we will discuss how your data should look like when you're importing it into Tableau. Now, we've already touched on this topic briefly before, but I think it'll be a worthwhile exercise for us to discuss this once again and recap on the conclusions that we came up with that time. So to start off with, I'm going to bring up a spreadsheet with some data. So here you have a spreadsheet that might look familiar because we did talk about it previously in the course, but this is a spreadsheet that tells us about unemployment rates or long-term unemployment rates for different months of the years, starting 2005 and so on, with the different genders, so for men and for women, and for the different age groups, so 16 to 19 years old, 20 to 24, and so on. And so this data does look like visually appealing to the human eye, and here we can quickly derive insights. If we need to, we can scroll further along and find the right year that or year and month that we're looking at, and we right away know that the left column is men, the right column is women, and we know how to select the right age group just because they're nicely highlighted here. Also, the spreadsheet has some header information up at the top. It's got some additional information down the bottom. Sometimes you might find that spreadsheets like this will have totals at the bottom as well, like we can add that right now. So here you've got the total, and let's just drag that along. So we'll call that total. So this is not uncommon. When there's a total at the bottom of the spreadsheet, it might be highlighted in a different color as well. So maybe like a blue or something like that. And as humans, we can understand and comprehend this information quite easily. But on the other hand, it's not the best format for machines. So let's have a look at another format that might be that you might be used to. So here is another spreadsheet with the same information, and it's got the age groups, the period, and here the men and women are split into two separate columns. And so for that period, for that age group, you can understand right away what was unemployment for men, what was unemployment for women, and once again, there might be a total here as well. So we'll just copy that down. And as you can see, this information is presented in an appealing way to the human eye, but it is not what machines are used to. It's not what Tableau is used to when you're importing this information. And for instance, this information is best presented in the following way if you are to put it into Tableau. And that format is this, where you've got separate columns for every type of dimension that you have. For instance, the age, which is split into certain bands here. The gender is a separate dimension, and then you've got the period, so period of time, the month that you're looking at, and then finally you've got the measure which is aggregated at the lowest level of granularity that you have. So when you take the age, the gender, and the period into account, you've got that value over here. So it's basically just columns of data rather than some visually appealing formatted data, which we had here and here. So what you need to make sure when you're importing data into Tableau is that it is formatted as close to this as possible. Ideally, it has to look like this. And that means that you need to take out all these headers, any possible margins that your data has. You have to kind of unpivot the views and put all of these months into a column and give that column a name called month or time period, and put the genders into a column. Also, you need to get rid of the totals because you don't need the totals in Tableau. You can get them in Tableau if you need them. And here, what all they're doing is they're good for visual analysis, but they will confuse you if you bring them into Tableau. They might cause discrepancies in your data. Also, sometimes you might find that data is structured in a way that if a value in a column is repeated, then there is no value there. So for instance, it could be like this. And so that basically means that all of these are January, all of these are February, all of these are March. Well, for Tableau to understand this data, you also need to, once again, fill in the blank spaces of your data, and you can do all of this in Excel if you need to. However, the good news is starting from Tableau 9, Tableau has some advanced features in its data import functionality, which will help you do a lot of these things in Tableau and actually allow you to do a lot of these automatically. And so that's what we'll be looking at in the next tutorial. We'll be talking about the data interpreter. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, happy analyzing.